If you have not heard by now, perhaps not, former Giant quarterback, the great enigma, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has officially cleared the waiver wire, which means he is free to roam around the NFL as an unrestricted free agent. So exciting. He's covered in fleas right now, but he can be yours if you want. No shock there, and the reason there was no shock is the math on this. For a team to have claimed Daniel Jones on waivers, they would have had to claim the rest of his contract, which is $11.8 million for this season. But wait, there's more. In addition, they would have had to pick up those $23 million injury guarantees that were part of the contract. So there was really no chance that was going to happen. So Jones, it was just a fait accompli. He was going to be available. He finishes an absolute failure of a run with the New York NFC football team, where he held the franchise hostage for years, was a cheap rip-off version of an average Eli Manning. That's the thing about it. People say, well, he's like Eli Manning. Eli Manning was an average NFL quarterback, and Daniel Jones is worse than that. And that's normally the sequel. You're trying to recreate what you had before when you had Mr. 500, Elijah Manning, and you got Daniel Jones, like a cheap rip-off version of that, way under 500. So let us discuss. I'm fascinated by someone who we know, we can all agree, every man, woman, child can agree, this guy blows. And yet, there are teams lined up around the building to try to get and woo the player. Fascinates me. So let us discuss the question. You make the call. I'm putting you on the spot. You make the call. Where does Daniel Jones end up? Where does he end up? So I've got Loyalist, Blessing, and Sephora. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to put a spotlight on top of this particular story right now. So number one. I said number one. All right. Number one. All right. Stop. So we have decided. We have made an editorial decision. We have decided to use, in honor of our friend Lorena, she brought this up earlier, the scientific method. We're going to use the scientific method, okay? So what is that, you asked? Now, the scientific method on the MALLER show is the wheel of speculation. We're going to spin the wheel of speculation to answer the question, where does Daniel Jones end up? It's very scientifical on the show. We used to do that bit on the Fifth Hour podcast I do on the weekends. Let's get scientifical, which was a fun bit. We stopped doing that for some reason. I don't really know why. Anyway, as far as the original recipe show, we're doing it right now in real time. So again, the scientific method. Let's spin the MALLER wheel of speculation round and round and round and round and round and round, and it's never wrong, by the way. And round it goes. Big money, no whammy, and stop. All right. And looky, here comes the cookie on the MALLER wheel of speculation. I've got the 49ers and the Vikings. The 49ers and the Vikings are on the MALLER wheel of speculation. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why the 49ers and Vikings came up. Because they are both coached by what is believed to be Danny Dimes loyalists. They are Danny Dimes loyalists, those two coaches. Guys who will publicly advocate and whisper sweet nothings to the media about a flawed quarterback in Daniel Jones. They would provide a soft landing spot, a soft, pillowy landing spot. Now, you've got Minnesota coach Kevin O'Connell, who loves to collect damaged quarterbacks. He's feeling it so good because Sam Darnold went from suck bag to mediocre, and everyone's all excited about that. So then you've also got the team out in Northern California. We just witnessed Brandon Allen, who started at Lambeau Field over the weekend, and Brandon Allen went out there, and he urinated down his leg right there, and it froze. Actually, it was so cold it froze at Lambeau Field. So Daniel Jones, if the wheel of speculation is right, he goes to one of those teams. He can hide out in the shadows. He can hide out in the shadows there. Also, don't discount a team that I just saw on Monday night, the Baltimore Ravens, with John Harbaugh. And you can see Daniel Jones go to Baltimore, whistling Dixie and hanging out and watching Lamar Jackson run around. And Jones can be the practice quarterback for the Ravens, but just listen to some Dire Straits music, right? And, money for nothing, the clipboard for free, and walk around. And you get your 10,000 steps walking up and down the sidelines. You're good to go. What? It's a great gig. And by not playing, people say, well, he looks so good in practice. Oh, he's so great. Well, there's no one trying to stop him. I know, but he looks really good in practice. All right, now, page 2. While we don't officially know, even though we use the scientific method with the MALLER wheel of speculation, we do not know where Daniel Jones will end up. But we do know one spot he will not be going, as it has been widely reported that Daniel Jones has rejected the flirtation from Lost Wages, Nevada. That he has said, no, I am not going to play for the Silver and Black Attack in Vegas. So how should the Raiders handle being turned down by Daniel Jones, a player as flawed as it gets? How do you handle being rejected by Daniel Jones? So on the surface, this is obviously a body blow. It is. This is an elbow to the solar plexus is what it is. Just to imagine a quarterback who is the definition of suckbag rejects you. How emasculating. What a kick to the nuts that is for the Raiders. But Jones, guilty of defrauding the Giants for how many years? Impersonating a quarterback. And here we are, Danny Dimes, 6 seasons with the Giants. He was tagged as the franchise quarterback. He was the number 6 pick in the 2019 NFL draft. And the most amazing factoid, started 69 games in the NFL, sacked 208 times. 208 sacks in 69 games, 22 wins. That's all he got, 22 wins as Giants quarterback and 44 losses. He also had 47 interceptions. Just terrible numbers across the board for Daniel Jones. And that guy said no mas to the Raiders. He thinks he's too good for the silver and black. But when you take a couple of steps back, I'm going to be Benny Brightside on this. And you say, well, why are you going to be Benny Brightside? I don't want Benny Brightside. Well, just let me explain. So one of my nightmares is the Rams somehow end up with Daniel Jones. And I don't want anything to do with this guy. I'm good. I like the Rams. I want to see that. So here's the deal. All right. If you're the Raiders, when you take a couple steps back and you contemplate the time-space continuum with Daniel Jones, you realize that his rejection letter is a blessing in disguise if you're the Raiders, that this is a ball player lacking the fire in the belly. Based on all of the chatter, all of the noise, he wants to go to a team where he won't play. What does that tell you? That is as an obvious tell. It tells me that, again, he would rather get his steps in on the sidelines holding a clipboard. He'd rather do that. He does not have the fighting spirit, does not want to play. He doesn't trust himself. He knows he can't play, and he realizes he can pull another ruse off the NFL. I can pull a fast one on the NFL by going somewhere where he doesn't play on a good team. And they'll be in the playoffs, they'll be in big games, and the clueless broadcasters on the broadcasts of these NFL games will be, well, the coaches tell us that Daniel Jones is looking really good in practice, and man, somebody's going to get really great, a great quarterback this year by not playing. You see, if he plays, the jig is up. The mustard's off the hot dog, and then people see all of the mistakes and all that. Now, final point. So you are the agent. Let's flip the tables here. Now, my position's rather clear. But we're going to do, for this little exercise, we're going to change this up. We're going to do something a little different. So you are now the agent, and you have to sell Daniel Jones with all of his mistakes and all of his miscalculations. You have to sell Danny Dimes to an NFL team. What is your sales pitch if you are representing the failed Daniel Jones? So if I'm the agent for Daniel Jones, all right, what I do is I said, listen, I'm going to point the finger, and it's all on the Giants. It's all the Giants' fault. Bad coaching, bad teammates, bad fans. The stadium blows. Everything's bad about the Giants. And Daniel Jones had no choice. He was drafted by the Giants in 2019. He was given a ladder. It was the wrong ladder. He was climbing the wrong ladder, and that's why. And you just focus on that. That's what you focus on there. It was a barren wasteland, the Giants, when he got there. And there was just nothing at all. There was rubble over here. There was debris over there. There was minefields. It was an abandoned trench in the back there. That's all there was. And so this is just a guy that needs a fresh start. That's all he needs. Classical, as long as there's been sports and pro sports and teams which have exchanged players, you have the change of scenery guy. This is the change of scenery guy. It's also, by the way, let me point out, for those of you a little late, it's a load of crap, right? We know it's a load of crap, but I'm the agent. I'm pretending to be the agent, so I have to sell this. There is no evidence. There is zero evidence that Daniel Jones, will go to Team X, whether that's the Vikings, the Ravens, the 49ers, or your team, and have this great awakening by wearing different laundry. He might have a game or two where he plays well. Sam Darnold's had a game or two where he's played pretty well. And then every once in a while, he returns to the old Sam Darnold. I expect much of the same for Daniel Jones in his new digs. He's completely flummoxed by pressure situations. And I don't want to speak for quarterbacks, but it doesn't that seem like that's a problem? That's a problem when you're in pressure situations and you're completely hornswoggled by pressure situations. You make poor decisions. Doesn't that seem unorganic when you're making those decisions? He also has no internal clock. There's no other way you get sacked that amount of times if you have any sense of, hey, I got to get rid of the ball. This is a problem. And so anyone that adds Daniel Jones, whether that's, again, Minnesota, 49ers, Baltimore, or a mystery team, any of these teams, all right, they are going down to Sephora, and they're buying some cosmetics, and they're putting lipstick on a pig is what they're doing, and toenail polish and the whole thing. Knock yourself out. Have a wonderful time.